How's it going, guys? My name is Danny Trakas. Trying to get into this whole fragrance vlogging, and my page will be called Common Sense. To start off, I just thought I'd do a breakdown of just all the colognes I have. Not nearly as much as you would see on other vloggers' pages, but I'd like to start off by saying that every single fragrance that I do have is something that I like. If I don't like the smell of something, like out of all of them I have, let's see, I have about 30 colognes here, 30 fragrances here, and there's only 2 of them that I have blind bought. Everything else I have tested out, I have tried out, so everything I buy, I like. I buy it for myself. So I have these ranked from least favorite to favorite, and but like I said, none of them that I dislike. Everything I have a purpose for, or I like to wear at a certain time or whatever. So we're going to start with our first one on the list, not my least favorite on the list, which will be just your basic Swiss Army Eau de Toilette. This is just a basic fragrance that I like to wear to the gym, something just to keep fresh, and something that you can just keep in the car. You know, something if you're in a rush, you need a quick squirt of something just to help you smell nice for a short period of time. This is a good one. Second one on the list is Bulgari Notte Puro. Okay, I don't reach for this too much, but I do like the smell. I kind of revisited this fragrance a couple of days ago, and when I was deciding to do this, and this came out very nice. I like to. It's got. It's actually a little heavier than I thought it would be. It's not really as fresh as I thought it would be, but again, another nice cologne, and that is the next one. I like the cap, though. It's nice and heavy, and it clicks in. Next one on the list is Versace Mano Fresh. And this is the first freshie really on the list, really. It's summer fragrance, and you know, you really can't go wrong with something like this. It's just very pleasant smelling. You can't put anybody off by this. It's not offensive, and I like to reach for it from time to time in the summertime. Don't really reach for it this time of the year, but I like to reach for it in the summertime. That is Versace Mano Fresh. Next one on the list. This is Prada Luna Rossa Sport. Now this one, again, one that I don't really reach for. I usually tend to reach for this like on a date night or something like that. It's just very nice smelling, very rich. It's very rich. I think it's very rich. And you know, despite the name, I don't really wear this to the gym or anything like that. This is something I would wear again for a date night or something like that. Okay, so that's the next one. Was Prada Luna Rossa Sport. Now this one, people might recognize it. This is not CK1. This is actually CK Shock. Me and a friend of mine purchased a 200 ml bottle, and we split it, and I just happened to have this empty bottle of CK1 lying around, so that's how we split it. CK Shock is a, you know, very nice fragrance. I haven't worn too much of it, but I have kind of revisited this fall because it is more for the fall, and it does have that smoky kind of like you know, night out vibe, and it's good for the cool weather. So that is CK Shock, not one CK Shock. Sorry for the bottle change. Next on the list is Mont Blanc Legend. I believe this is Night. Okay, right here, very nice bottle. Again, very good for this time of the year. You know, more rich, more fresh, stays close to the skin, and it is good for a great date night. I might actually wear this tonight. It's actually very nice. Okay, that's next on the list. This is the first of the line on Prada Luna Rossa, right there. First one. This one was great. I'm kind of running really low. Very low on this, but I will pick up another bottle. I do like this. Okay, I love the bottling. I love the presentation of this, and it's just really nice. I like to, as you can see, it's gone. I gravitated to this very much when I first got it, so it does work very well. I like it. It's great. Prada Luna Rosa. This one is basically Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. D&G Pour Homme is a classic fragrance. Very nice. Got myself a small bottle of this because I wasn't really sure about it when I first picked it up, so I wanted to get something smaller, test it out. As I did, as you can see, I went through it very quickly, and I do plan to pick up a bottle of Dolce Gabbana Pour Homme. Very nice for like again another night type fragrance. As we move on, we have Boss Bottled Intense. Now, the first Boss bottle that I did get was obviously the original version, but then I came across the Intense version, and obviously I like it for obvious reasons. It's the scent DNA is very much the same, and you know, anything that has kind of an apple type of a vibe to it, it's going to be really high on my list in terms of scents that I like. As you can see, I use this a lot. I'm running a little low, and I will be picking up another bottle of this. Even though it is generic, it is kind of synthetic, it does have a nice smell. And remember, when you're buying a fragrance, guys, this is more for just the general public, not really fragrance enthusiasts. You know what? Go out there, try different fragrances, and just buy what you like. Find what you like the smell of, and you buy it, and you just enjoy it for what it is, and that's the scent. It's not about the longevity, because this doesn't have the greatest performance, but it is a great, nice smell, right? The greatest thing about fragrances like this from myself is that I love it so much. I know that the performance isn't good, but you know what? That's what they make decants for. So I just load it up, and I can always reapply whenever I like. So that is Hugo Boss Bottled Intense. Next on the list, I'm sure everybody really knows it. It is a really popular one, and it is Mont Blanc Individual. As you can see, that is almost done as well. This is my third bottle of this. I absolutely love this fragrance, and I can wear this at any time, whether it's at the gym, because it kind of has a fresh vibe to it with the raspberry, but it projects and it performs pretty well, and it just gets crazy reactions for it. Everybody loves this fragrance. I don't know anybody that doesn't like this fragrance. This is just a great, great fragrance, and it works very versatile. Work at any time. You can wear it in the summer, you can wear it in the winter, doesn't matter. This works great. It smells fantastic. So that is Mont Blanc Individual. The next one on my list is one that I'm still kind of testing, and that is called Rojas Moustache. This is a different something. One of the more different ones that I picked up throughout my stages over the last couple of years collecting fragrances, and it's very different. It goes in a different direction than what I'm used to. I'm used to more fresh, fruity kind of smelling things. Obviously stuff that would be very mass pleasing. This is actually very good. It just has a different vibe to it. It doesn't smell heavy. It doesn't smell off-putting, but it's kind of got a strange vibe. You know, you might not get compliments so much, but you will get reactions because it does smell so different than anything you might own if you're just a casual fragrance wearer or fragrance collector. So that is Rojas Moustache Eau de Parfum. This one obviously gets a lot of hype in the fragrance community, and that is João Varda's Artisan Pure. This is an absolute superstar. When they say niche quality in a designer bottle, they got it absolutely right. People talk about this being fresh. It is a fresh, yes, it's more than that. People talk about the scent DNA of this. It's kind of weird to me. I get the feeling of this has got, people say it has florals, and the florals that I get from this are kind of like church florals. When you walk in a church and you smell the greenery and stuff like that, not the incense, I'm talking about the greenery and stuff like that, the florals within a church. This is what I get when I get this. I first time I smelled this, it was like I walked into church. And so but it is a great fragrance. Like they say, it's like a niche fragrance in a niche quality in a designer bottle, and it is just absolutely fantastic. Great reactions, great compliments for this. That is Jean Movato's Artisan Pure. Next one on the list is my second Versace, which is Versace Pearl. Tested bottle I got without a cap. This is another freshie, but this one is a lot higher up the list than some of the other freshies that I have. This is just a great DNA. This is a classic type of a DNA. It goes along in that direction of Nautica Voyage. I mean, something that you just can't go wrong with. It's just a great DNA. It smells, you know, it's not simplistic, but it does smell fresh. It smells clean. And again, it's not off-putting, and it's just, you just can't go wrong with something like this. And that is Versace Pearl. The next one on the list is the last freshie on the list, but definitely separates from the rest of the group, and that is Jean Paul Gaultier Popeye Eau Fraiche. I don't really like to call it Popeye Eau Fraiche or Superman Eau Fraiche, which are the exact same fragrance. I just like to call it Jean Paul Gaultier Eau Fraiche. Okay, you can definitely tell the Jean Paul Gaultier DNA in this, and but the smell is just unbelievable with that candy and spearmint type of a flavor. It is just a gorgeous scent. It is a freshy summer type of a scent, but it's surprisingly very long lasting, at least on my skin. Remember folks, when you're wearing fragrances, the type of performance you get, people could talk about the performance of certain scent, but it all comes down to your skin DNA and how your DNA reacts to the fragrances. And on my skin, this lasts for a very long time. It's very great performing, but it's just a fantastic scent. And I don't just reserve this for the summertime. This is spring, fall. I'll wear it in the wintertime. I'll make it kind of a gym fragrance soon in the wintertime. Whatever the case may be, I love this scent and it is absolutely fantastic. So that is Jean Paul Gaultier Popeye Eau Fraiche. As we move on the list, now we're getting to more like, not darker fragrances, but just more fragrances that are more prone for, I guess you could say, this time of the year. We're going to start it off, okay, with a great fragrance, and that is Thierry Mugler Pure Malt. People talk about the booziness in this and stuff like that, and the smokiness, and it does have booziness. I don't really get a whiskey vibe from this. I get kind of a rum vibe. It's kind of a sweeter type thing, but it is fantastic. It's one of the better ones, one of the more used ones in my collection. I always gravitate to this. I can wear this at any time. When it gets cold, I don't really gravitate in the summertime, but spring, fall, winter, I definitely gravitate to this, and I wear it a lot more often, whether it be at work, whether it be, and I don't think about it as being overbearing in certain situations. I think of it in terms of, okay, well, I like it. If it's a little too warm, I might spray it a couple less times than I would normally. So again, that is Thierry Mugler Pure Malt. Fantastic favorites. And keeping with Thierry Mugler, we got Pure Havana. And I put this slightly ahead of Pure Malt. Pure Malt, I would have said that there was no way Pure Havana was going to surpass it in terms of how much I liked it. Probably because I got that one first, but I picked this up, and what I love about this, absolutely 100%, is the cherry cigar vibe it gives. This is just wow. You know what, you just fall in love with this from the time. As you can see, I took off the top here. This is for the purpose of decanting. That's why I took it off. But that being said, now I have heard a lot of comments saying that this has been reformulated. It's not the same. If it's a performance thing that's changed, so be it. Like I said earlier in the video, that it's not about performance so much for me. I like performance. I like to be able to not worry about my fragrances fading or whatever throughout the day or throughout the evening. For me, it's about the actual scent of the fragrance, and this one has a fantastic scent. If they've reformulated it and the performance is not there, it's okay. I'll just decant the crap out of it, because I love this that much. That is Thierry Mugler Pure Havana. Now we go into a really, I would say the first dark scent that I do have on this list, and that is CH Men Privé. Now this is probably the most unique one the first unique fragrance that I got in terms of what I like. You know, that and Moustache. I got this before actually, Rojas Moustache. This has that whiskey vibe. You know, there's leather, whatever, but this has that whiskey vibe. And this is just so, to me, it's so, you know, polarizing. I mean, when you wear this and you just get the reactions from different people, whether it be women, men, doesn't matter. It's like you get a like, whoa, what is that smell? And it's never been in a negative way. Nobody's ever had an issue with this. People just absolutely love this. I love this. I do gravitate more in fall and winter time for this. Sometimes, very rarely in the spring, and I don't really wear it in the summer. Just the scent doesn't suit the summertime. But this is absolutely fantastic. It took me a long time to get this. I finally found it in the airport and I picked it up. So that is CH Men Privé. The next one on my list is actually my very first niche brand that I bought, and that is Amouage Reflection Man. Funny thing is, as a niche one, it is actually, I believe it's actually the first one. No, it's the second one. Second one on this list that I blind bought. And I will admit, I bought this purely on the hype of it. I didn't want to be repetitive or kind of seem like I was following a friend of mine's lead. He kept on buying a lot of Parfums de Marly, and I didn't want to be, you know, he started off getting Parfums de Marly, and I didn't want to seem like him getting Parfums de Marly as my first one, even though that was probably would have been my first choice and my first niche. But I picked up this instead because of the hype it got, and this is absolutely the bomb. I mean, you know, it lasts a long time. It is very unique. It's masculine but has a floral touch to it, and it is absolutely fantastic. I don't think I've heard anybody say anything negative about this, whether it be online, in the vlogs, or in person. This is just a great, and you can wear it as a date scent, you can wear it as a night out scent, you can wear it as an everyday scent within the office, anywhere at work. Like I said, it's not off-putting. I wouldn't exactly wear this to the gym. This is way too expensive to sit there and waste at the gym. And I wouldn't really wear this in the summertime. Again, it's going to come off, the heat's going to burn this off, and you're going to go through way too much of it. But this is absolutely a monster. I loved it when I first got it, smelled it. Definitely the best blind buy I've ever made. So this is Amouage Reflection. Next on my list, because I don't have the ever so redundant and popular purchase of Dior Sauvage, I have Versace Dylan Blue. Now I've smelt, I've tried and I've tested Sauvage, and they are similar. Yes, they are similar in terms of the cardamom or the bergamot. The differences with this is that it doesn't have the pepper note, which is what it doesn't put me off in terms of Sauvage, but it does have a different scent DNA than that, because it makes it different because of that. Otherwise, they're very similar. This dries it down. This dries it. It comes off very much like Sauvage, but it dries down into something very sweet, which is what I like, and it is incredibly long lasting. Is it synthetic? Yes. Is it? Can you say that it's starting to be overused? You can smell it a lot and think, yes, but it doesn't take away from the fact that it is a fantastic fragrance. I love the smell, the scent DNA of this, and it just works for me. I wear this a lot to work. I wear this a lot when I go out. Yeah, and it actually is like, it's very versatile, just like Sauvage. You can use it any season, any time. You just have to fluctuate between your sprays in terms of how much you use this. But that is Versace Dylan Blue. Next on my list is another Versace, the last one on the list, and that is Versace Eros Eau de Toilette, the original, the OG. This is one of those that I bought based on hype, but I did get to smell it first, and I said that is different than anything I've never had anything too syrupy before or kind of very, very sweet. Um, but I bought it. I liked it. Um, so it wasn't a complete blind buy. I took it out and I tested it, but I tested it in the real world. Like where would you test this? When you go to a bar, when you go to a club. So that's where I did test it, and the reactions I got were great. It wasn't so much the first month, because when you go to a department store and you test fragrances, you don't really get a feel for how it's going to perform and how it dries down. You get the initial opening, which is really nice with this. Obviously, it's got the mint, it's got the, just that sweet, syrupy, minty vibe. And it is meant for that type of a thing, the club scene, the going out scene, kind of a party thing. I'm not a big fan of people saying it's the party boy, the playboy. It is just a very nice scent, and it's not off-putting. Women love this. The reactions I get from this are fantastic. So definitely my favorite from the Versace line, and that is Versace Eros, the original eau de toilette. The next one, some might be surprised at what I get ahead of it, because I'm down to my last 5. These are my top 5. Somebody might be surprised at what I put ahead of this, but this is just, again, personal opinion in terms of the fragrances that I have. And this one's the only thing I bought retail. Everything else was bought online at discounted, but I actually did get discounts with this. I used purchases, and that is Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme. This is another one. This is another one that I put up there in terms of this is what I would call perfection in a bottle. As close to perfection in a bottle as there is, without actually being perfection, because I don't believe any fragrance except for my number 1 is a perfect fragrance. This is as close as it gets. It is very versatile. You can wear it any time of year, and you can wear it in any situation. It doesn't matter. It's just like you smell. When you take a smell, when you take this in your, of this scent, when you take it in, you understand why it's a Chanel. And when you smell something from Chanel, I don't have a Bleu de Chanel, and I don't have Egoist or any other Chanel. It's my only Chanel bottle that I have. When you smell those fragrances, it's Chanel, it's high quality. You can almost understand why they never discount any of their stuff, right? But this is a 150 ml bottle that I picked up for, I believe, yes, this is a 150 ml bottle. Normal price retail is cost, is all Canadian prices. Normal retail cost was $185, so with taxes, would have went close to $210. I got this at a Bay discount. I was at the Bay and I picked this up. It was at a Bay discount, not for Chanel, but for their fragrance section. They had a discount. Plus I had a Bay card at the time. So I ended up picking this up for about $185, taxes in, because of those things. So I basically got this for the price of a 100 ml bottle, which is about $145. So I picked this up there, and I financially, I think I would have been financially responsible if I didn't pick it up. But this is definitely, I will pay $210 for this full retail because it is that good. I might drop, maybe not 210, I might drop and go down to like a 75 ml or 50 ml because I do learn to appreciate it. I don't overspray it. So that is Allure Homme Sport Eau Extreme, and that is as close to perfection in a bottle as you get. The next one on the list might surprise some people, but it is 24 Centuries, 24 Gold Eau de Toilette. This is probably the longest lasting cologne I have on this list, in my collection. In fact, it exactly what the bottle says. This lasts for 24 hours on my skin easily. I still smell this, get wafts of this. Next day, if I apply one day, I go back the next day at the same time, I'm still getting wafts of this. So this is, but it's not overbearing. It is very sweet. It has got a very distinct smell. You got the incense in this. You got cinnamon, and there's oud in this, which I, as a fragrance note, and from other ouds that I've smelled, oud is a very particular taste. Me personally, I'm not a big heavy oud person. I really don't get any oud out of this. I smell the incense, I smell the cinnamon, and if there's any oud in there, it is totally overshadowed by that. You do not get any of that. But for me, it's all about the performance and just the pleasing smell. I mean, never, ever have I had a negative comment about this, and you just can't go wrong with it. I heard the formulation was changing and performance screwed down. Honestly, if it goes from 24 hours to 12 hours, I don't care. And again, you can always decant this. And because it works so well, it's very strong, you don't need much more than a 50 mil, which is what I got here. You need a couple of sprays any time of the year, whether it be, I wouldn't really necessarily wear this in the summertime, maybe on a cooler summer evening, but even in the dead of winter, you go out at night, you squirt this, you do not need to worry about squirting more than twice, and it just lasts and lasts and lasts. And you get this on your clothes, it's there a week later when you put those same clothes back on. So that is 24 Gold by Sensory Eau de Toilette. Now we get into my top three. As you can see, there's been kind of a theme in the last few fragrances in terms of when I would wear this, and this is again another kind of going out party, going to the club thing, and this is Jean Paul Gaultier Ultra Malt. Bottles unmistakable. What's more unmistakable is the smell. You get a bit of a. This is just gorgeous. I mean, I don't know anybody who is not. I don't know anybody that's actually smelled this or consciously felt this, has been asked about this, that did not praise it. I've got lots of compliments unsolicited for this fragrance, but it's the comments from the people that you ask, what do you think of this fragrance? And you'd be surprised, this is out there. A lot of people wear this, and it's out there. And you'd be surprised at how many people I've asked, when I've asked them to smell this and tell me what they think, and said, that is absolutely fantastic. And they're wondering what it is. And once they hear what it is, and they kind of get that vibe, it's just like, that's probably why I like it. I've smelled it before. And I'm pretty sure they've smelled it in the club or something like that. So that is what's great about this. It is just, like I said, it's absolutely fantastic to smell. Wow. Yeah, it is bubblegummy. You could say it's kind of on the less mature side, but who cares? I mean, it just smells fantastic. And like I said, when it comes to fragrances, this particular list, this particular channel is about what you like the smell of, and what you want to project when you're out there wearing fragrances. Okay. The next one on my list is the last, but probably for me it's the OG, and that is Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mans. Now this is not an original formulation, because the original formulation is, again, that goes right along with the Lorma Sport. This is about as close as you get in terms of the scent DNA to perfection in a bottle. I remember, I believe it was in 1993 when this was first released. I was in the Bay and I was looking for fragrance. I was running low and I was looking for a new fragrance. I think I was just finished CK1, I believe, and I was ready to go into a new fragrance. And I sat there, and this had just been released. The Bay that I went to just got in their order of Jean Paul Gaultier Le Mans. And I smelt it and I go, oh my God, this was so unique, but so just absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome, that I said to myself, oh, I have to have that. I paid, I believe at the time it was $120 for the bottle when I got it. Worth every penny. Anybody that I know that has gotten into fragrances, any of my friends that have gotten into fragrance, they'll all tell you, any of my closer friends that have gotten into fragrance, they'll tell you the same thing. They would not be into Le Male if it wasn't for me. They would not have bought Jean Paul Gaultier Le Male if it wasn't for me, because I think I must have been the first person they've ever smelt it on. And I would have to assume that's for a lot of people that know me. It's the first time that they've ever smelt this fragrance was probably on me. So this was probably the beginning of my fragrance journey in terms of really just concentrating on scenting and stuff like that, and breaking down some fragrances in terms of when I wore them. This, obviously, the original I would wear to clubs and stuff. That I was a lot younger, obviously, when I got it. I was in my early 20s, but I just don't have a problem with this at all. It doesn't matter, the performance is not there, it's been reformulated. I have a decant, I can wear this at any time. What makes it an issue is that when you decant something that smells this good, but doesn't last nearly as long as it used to, is that you're constantly decanting and go through it very quickly. But you know what? If I have to buy this bottle every 6 months, if I have to buy this bottle every twice a year, you know, at full retail or close to full retail, and pay the money for it, I will, because it's just that good in my personal opinion. And that brings us down to my number one in my collection. I showed you this. This is Amouage Reflection Man, which is my very first niche that I bought. And this is my very second niche that I bought. And this Parfums de Marly Late. Now, you know how I said that Jean Paul Gaultier, Le Male, and Chanel Allure Homme Sport Eau de Cologne are the two bottles of cologne that I actually said that are the closest thing that I have to perfection in a bottle. Over the last 2 years, really getting into this fragrance, not the game, but the collecting and just appreciation for fragrance, I have not smelled anything like this. This is about, this is not about as close as you can get to perfection. I believe this is perfection in a bottle. I don't think that there's any fragrance out there that is nearly as good as this. Now, this is just a personal opinion, obviously, but I honestly have smelled a lot of fragrances. I've smelled a lot of Parfums de Marly line, along with Amouage. I've smelled, you know, I'll put it up against anything in terms of honest feedback in terms of scent, DNA, and how it actually smells and how good it smells. And I will put this up against anything. And not to the fragrance community, to anybody who doesn't know anything about fragrances and doesn't watch vlogs and put it in front of women. I think that this will beat out anything. I'll put up against any other brand, any other fragrance. I think this is the best fragrance ever made. I haven't been in the game that long, but I do know a lot of fragrances. I have smelled a lot of fragrances, including pretty well all of the Parfums de Marly line. You know, you got Carlisle, which is great. You got Harriet, which is great. Seti is good, but nothing compares to this. This, I absolutely believe, is perfection in a bottle. It doesn't get better than this. I'll put this up against anything. I'll put it up against Creed Aventus. I'll put it up against, obviously Reflection Man. I have other colognes ahead of Reflection Man on my list. I'll put it up against any niche brand or any designer brand that you can think of in terms of thing. Tom Ford's, Dior's, whatever. I will put this up against any of them, and I believe the casual person, woman, male, who doesn't know anything about fragrances and just buys colognes or perfumes or fragrances based on scent and scent alone, I think this beats out any other men's fragrance in the market. It is, my personal opinion, the perfect DNA, and like I said, in my opinion, it's perfection in a bottle. If something surpasses this, I will pay a lot of money for it. this wasn't cheap. I bought this for a lot of money, but you know what? If something ever surpasses this and I can get my hands on it, I will spend the money to do so, because this was absolutely worth every penny that I spent on it. So again, that is absolutely fantastic. And that is, again, Parfums Marni Layton. My opinion, perfection in a bottle. So guys, that is my list of the colognes that I do own in order of least favorite to favorite. Mind you, there's none of them that I don't like. I don't buy colognes unless I actually like them, and there's very few that I blind buy. So this is not a list of what you shouldn't buy and what you should buy, but more a list of just my fragrances and how I rank them from least favorite to favorite. But the key word there is favorite, because I like them all. I don't buy colognes with it. Swiss Army I've been wearing a long time. It's my least favorite of the ones I have. I've been wearing Swiss Army a long time. The reason why, it is just a pleasant scent. Doesn't last long. Doesn't do anything, but you can't go wrong with it. You know, I have a, you know, it's dirt cheap. It's, you know, $12 online with discounters. You know, I buy 4 bottles. I put one in the car. I put one in my truck at work. I have one here, and I have one at the locker in my gym. It's just nice to have. It's always there. If for some reason I'm rushed, I get out of the house and I don't have anything, I can always throw that on. And I don't have to worry about anybody being off put by it. So it's beautiful fragrance. But that is my least favorite of my thing. You go right to my favorite, which is Parfums de Marly Layton. Okay, so that is my episode today. Hope you liked it. If it's, you know, I'll learn how to cut these down and try to shrink the thing. If you have any comments, please leave them in the comment section below. And if you like what you saw and you want to see more, you know, consider subscribing to my channel. Hopefully I can get going with this fragrance vlog thing. Like, again, that is Common Sense Fragrances. My name is Danny. Hope you enjoyed the episode.